me just double check how that looks. So you see the side where I lined just right next to the lash on the inner rim of the eye looks more dramatic than this side. And I like that look. You don't have to do it. It's an option, and again, you can do it with a pencil. I think that gets gunky, but that's pretty good for right now. And then I'm going to do the other side. The other side for me is always a little tricky because I have to do it backhanded because I'm a lefty. I'm going to get it at the inner corner there. Try to keep it even. This side is always trickier. And get it to the back lashes. Along the inner corner, fill in the gaps as I go. All the way to the front, being very careful at the front so it doesn't get too thick. I often get it too thick. Yeah, well, this is one of those types. That's okay. And I think it'll still look all right. But I just have to make sure they match, so I'm going to double check it in the regular mirror. Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, just making sure I made the two match. There we go. Yeah, pretty good. All right. So the last thing I do, well, actually, it's not always the last. I might do one other technique just to show. Not bad. All right, so the next thing I do is I do line the lower lashes. I really like the look of lining along the lower lashes. I know not everybody does it. I think it's best for balance. For some people, they think it closes in the eye, and that's fine. It is absolutely an option to not line the lower lashes. I always line the lower lashes. I really like the way it looks. But you have to be careful with it. This really can cause drippies. I don't use pencil. I think pencil is, well, I don't think pencil is. Most pencils are too creamy, and they tend to, on me, go into the lines around my eyes, because I got a lot of lines around my eyes. Let me get this little hair off from the brush. So I'm going to use one of my darker colors, and I put it on the brush, and to make sure I don't get drippies, I take the excess off, and then starting at the very back corner of the eye, right next to where the liner stopped, right next to where the liner stopped, I line underneath my lashes. I go back and forth to make sure I'm going with the grain of the eye, but also making sure I don't miss the lines and fill in the whole area. Now, where you stop varies. So for me, I like stopping just before the inner corner of the eye. Some people like taking it all around. For me, I feel that that really closes up the inside corner of the eye, so I leave that open. How you choose to do it, that's really just a personal preference. So again, I take the excess out. I'm just going to make sure I get it as even as I can. Just before the teardrop of the eye. This area is called the teardrop. So I'm going to try to make sure the other side is the same. Again, starting right where that eyeliner stopped. They should merge. Some people leave that area open. I really prefer it merging and looking even and together, but leaving it open is definitely an option. But for me, I leave it like that. Let me just double check it. That's pretty good. Make sure they're even. Yeah, pretty even. Not bad. Okay, so, all right, what am I going to do? Oh, I knew what I was going to do. So one of the techniques I do for formal makeup, and I don't do it all the time, but I do it a lot of the time. So right now I could be done. I think it looks okay. I would put powder on to help reduce. Right now, without powder, my blush is a little harder than I like it to look. So I would put some powder on and that will help reduce the amount of blush I have on. But I'm going to do that just before my first interview so I don't look like I have too much powder on during the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, now some people do it with black. I don't do it with black. I do it with my dark brown shade. But for night, when I'm going really dramatic, then I do the black color. And so what I'm going to do is with a round, very controlled tip brush, taking the dark brown color. Now I could have done this before the eyeliner, making sure I'm taking the excess off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to darken the very back corner of the eye. Just like that. Just to give the eye a little bit more movement out. Let me just lower my eye so you can see that. Now, some people do it very dramatically, which is just fine. I'm just doing a little bit, just to get that little bit of extra extension and depth so the eye moves from here to here. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, I think I'm done. I'm ready to get dressed. What do you think?
Very nice.
What do you think? Okay? What do you think? So, all right, I'm gonna do a couple of more touch-ups, although I think I'm pretty done, but I gotta check it in the daylight, in sunlight, to make sure that it's all even, because I'm kind of playing with the light here. And I'll get dressed, we'll take another video, you can see what the whole effect looks like.